Charles and Ebuka's friendship was the kind you read about in books. They grew up together in Awka, practically brothers. From sharing schoolbooks in primary school to dreaming big in secondary school, they were inseparable. When they both got into Nnamdi Azikiwe University right there in Awka, it felt like their bond was unbreakable. Ebuka once slapped Charles on the back, a huge grin on his face, and said, "Nothing can ever separate us, my guy." Charles laughed, replying, "Not even if one of us becomes a professor before the other." It was a promise, a testament to a friendship they thought would last a lifetime. But university life has a way of testing even the strongest bonds. While Charles buried himself in books, attending every lecture and pulling all-nighters to study, Ebuka started changing. He became a shadow, keeping late hours and returning to their hostel room with unexplained bruises. His phone would ring unanswered. The easy laughter they once shared was replaced by a heavy silence. One night, Charles couldn't take it anymore. He had to ask Ebuka, "Where do you go every night? What's happening to you?" Ebuka's eyes, once so familiar and warm, turned cold and hard. "You ask too many questions," he snapped. A chill ran down Charles's spine. He knew something was terribly wrong, but he dropped the subject, hoping his friend would eventually come around. The end of the semester arrived, and the results were posted. Charles had aced. Everything straight A's. His classmates swarmed him with congratulations. And even his lecturers commended his discipline and hard work. Amid the celebration, Ebuka approached him, a tight, forced smile on his face. "You're doing well," he said, his voice lacking its usual warmth. "Thanks, man," Charles replied, trying to bridge the growing gap between them. "We can study together next semester if you want. We'll both crush it." But Ebuka just turned away, his jaw clenched, and walked off without another word. The distance between them had become a chasm. That very night, in a dimly lit, smoke-filled room hidden away off campus, Ebuka's true transformation was clear. He sat among a group of rough-looking guys, his fellow cult members. His voice was low and filled with a bitterness that was new and terrifying. "He thinks he's better than me," Ebuka spat out, referring to Charles. The words hung in the stale air. One of the members let out a dark, cruel laugh. "Then remove him," he said, the suggestion as simple and cold as a death sentence. Those two words, "remove him," echoed in Ebuka's mind, planting a seed of pure evil. A few days later, Ebuka found Charles. He was unusually calm, his voice smooth and friendly, just like the old days. "Please, I need you to escort me to see a friend around I-Fight Road tonight," he asked. Charles was hesitant. "At this hour, it's pretty late." Ebuka looked him straight in the eye. "I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. I really need your help." Charles, still clinging to the memory of the friend he once knew, trusted him. He agreed. The walk to I-Fight Road was eerie. The narrow street was shrouded in darkness, with only a few flickering streetlights breaking through the gloom. The silence was heavy, and Charles felt a growing sense of unease. "Ebuka, are you sure this is the right way?" he asked, his voice barely a whisper. "Yes," Ebuka replied, a little too quickly. We're almost there. Just a little further. Suddenly, the shadows around them moved. A harsh voice shouted, "Stop right there." Before Charles could even process what was happening, armed boys emerged from the darkness on both sides of the road, circling them like predators. His heart hammered against his ribs. He turned to his friend, his voice trembling. "Ebuka, what is this?" But Ebuka stood silent, his face a mask of stone. One of the boys raised a gun, aiming it directly at Charles. Time seemed to stop. Just as a shot was about to be fired, the piercing wail of police sirens ripped through the night. "Drop your weapons." An officer's voice boomed through a megaphone. Panic erupted. The gang, caught completely off guard, hesitated for a moment before the police swarmed them. Guns and cutlasses clattered to the ground as they were surrounded. Everyone was arrested, including Charles and a strangely silent Ebuka, at the police station under the harsh fluorescent lights. The truth finally came out. One of the arrested boys, terrified and broken, confessed everything. "It was Ebuka," he sobbed. "He sent us." He said his friend was too successful and needed to be taught a lesson. For Charles, it felt like the entire world had just collapsed. The friend he had loved like a brother, the boy he had shared his entire life with, had orchestrated his murder. The betrayal was a wound deeper than any blade could inflict. Ebuka was arrested, expelled from the university in disgrace, and his name became a cautionary tale. Charles survived, but he was forever changed. That night on the dark, narrow road taught him a painful but vital lesson. Jealousy can poison even the purest friendship, turning it into deadly hatred. A true friend will celebrate your success, not plot your downfall. Be careful who you trust. Thanks for watching. If this story touched you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Stay safe.